All right, looks like we're live. We'll call to order Williams County Park Board, February 17th meeting. Roll call.
Barry?
Here.
Steve?
Here.
Brad?
Here.
Corey?
Here.
Bo is absent. Chris?
Here.
And Shanda, of course.
Here. Item B, approval of minutes from last meeting.
Make a motion to approve. Second.
Approval and second. Any discussion? If not, then item C, financial update. Yeah. Oh, roll call.
Barry?
See,
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Corey?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Shanda?
yes. Okay. Now item C, financial update.
The January financial statement is in your packet. If you have any questions about that, I'll certainly answer them. Otherwise, I know Finance Department is working hard and getting close to wrapping up 2025, and I would imagine that we'll have a report for 2025 in the next month's meeting. But if you have anything about the January report, any questions, I'll entertain them at this time.
All right, no questions on that. Roll call? No?
No motion.
No motion. See, you're fine. We're moving along. Moving along to new business.
All right, new business. First thing on there, we have camping reservations for 2026. We've put out a press release that on March 2nd, Monday, consistent with what we've done the last few years, we will open up online reservations. At that time, we are just going to open up online reservations for Coda Ray and Little Egypt. Epping Springbrook Dam will be closed this year under construction. Blacktail, we just want to make sure we're ready to go. We'd hate to open it up and then Memorial Day weekend, these couple sites are there. So we did include in the press release that we will be at a later date making an announcement on when we are going to open it. We feel really confident we're going to open on time, but we also don't want to have to make calls and say, hey, turns out it's going to be 1 week and you can't get your reservation. So we just want to make sure we're there and ready to go. So we will, at a later time, put out a press release and make sure it's available or known when we're going to open up reservations for Blacktail for the summer.
Will we be doing permanent sites again?
I do have that on the agenda. We can talk about that now. We have not made any plans or anything to do that. It's something, we definitely know moving forward we're going to do. We haven't at Blacktail yet. Again, we're kind of worried about move-in date, but something that I did have on the agenda I wanted to discuss. In my opinion, it's worked in the past. I don't know that we want to overdo it with the first year, but I'm also not against. I'm not against trying it. So I'm open-minded. I want a little bit of it to be a discussion with this board where we felt. I mean, obviously, I don't even think either of them is. I mean, I almost think it's easier when we do have them because I don't have to worry about those sites. They take ownership in those sites. We've had nothing but really good experiences with having people that add the seasonal sites. Just because it was all new and we haven't talked about it with the new sites or anything, I didn't want to make any decisions without coming up to this board first and talking about it.
I guess the reason I bring it up is we did talk about making several of those sites down by the swimming area seasonal.
Correct, and that is still our intention.
Okay, so
those ones,
I'm confused. We're not sure that we're doing it, or
those ones aren't going to be ready for this summer.
Gotcha.
We haven't done construction on those yet.
Okay.
And we know for sure, right? We talked about the plan is just a quick reminder, the original plan we saw had 10 sites there. We thought that was too many. We've pared that down to 5. And in the discussion we've had is that we would have at least 2, if not 3 of those be seasonal sites. That was always the discussion that we had talked about. I think everybody felt really comfortable with. We hadn't really necessarily talked about seasonal sites in the other part of the campground. We know we have a Campos site, and it's going to be my goal to fill that Campos site with someone. But we hadn't talked about seasonal sites anywhere else, and that's kind of why I didn't want to. Normally would be about the time we would start putting out information to say, hey, we're going to do our, turn all your information in here. We're going to do all this, but we just hadn't talked about it yet, and I wanted to have a conversation, I guess, before we move too forward, especially along the same time with saying how, I'm not quite comfortable opening up the online reservation system just because I don't, even though I'm very confident we're going to open, we're really, really months ahead of schedule compared to where we were with Coda Ray, and, with what we are at Blacktail now. But I learned some things from Coda Ray. There's not, we're not building this, we're not building Blacktail for summer of 2026. We're building Blacktail for the next 25 years or longer. So I want to just make sure we do it right. But yeah, definitely seasonal sites. I'd like some input from this board. Want to give a little direction because, like I said, it's not something we have talked about other than those sites at the beach. So,
Do we have the same number of operational sites this summer that we've had in previous summers?
Well, we are a little bit down, but very close, right? We have those 5 sites. We have those 5 sites at the beach that won't be online, and then we have that northwest corner. We typically call it the lowlands. So that area down just west of the golf course. We have primitive sites down there, and those sites will be under construction this summer as well. Those sites will get fixed up fast, though. Like, I anticipate us using those this summer, but they will be having a little bit of upgrades to them. So as a whole, even when everything's done, I think we're down 1 or 2 sites from where we were if we maxed everything out prior to any construction. So pretty much the same, I guess, is the answer. And in the past, we've always offered 5. We've always had 5 seasonal sites is what we've done. On 2 different occasions, we had 6 people apply, and this board decided, you know what, let's just why are we going to eliminate just 1 person? And we ended up having 6. So every year that we've done it, we've had either 5 or 6 seasonal sites.
So are two of the seasonal sites are being offered at the beach, though, where we only have 5 sites? Is that correct?
Not this year, Brad. Nothing will be offered at the beach this year. It'll be under construction.
But that's the plan in the future, is 2 of those of the 5 will be seasonal?
At least 2, if not 3.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Mm-hmm. And obviously we can make changes, but the conversations we had before was we really felt like, you know what, that beach, those campsites are almost like they're in a neighborhood. And
Yes.
And we felt like, and the consensus was, it felt like that that it'd be, it's usually fine if it's just 1 or 2 people camping, but as soon as you get 2 or 3 people to get groups of people together, next thing you know, it's 10 people sitting around a campfire, and even if they're not trying to be loud, how camping goes, and it's 1 a.m. and we're having fun and we're talking a little louder, and again, it almost feels like we're in the middle of a neighborhood. So just
Okay.
be respectful
Sounds
to those
good.
people, landowners out there, and that's kind of the thought process we worked our way through.
Sounds good.
So you're looking for direction on
Yeah,
whether Brad, what are your thoughts on seasonal sites doing it this summer with several of them? I mean, I don't know if we do 5, which I guess I don't think that sounds like that many, but I don't know. What are the thoughts?
Well, if in general,
Well, whatever.
I'm sorry, Brad, go ahead.
I'm breaking up.
Well, what I was gonna say is in general, if we want to just, if you'd like me to come with a proposal of number of sites, how much I think it'll cost, and bring some options to the next meeting, also with the timeline to go to say that, hey, we're gonna give people 3 weeks to get their stuff in. On this day, we're gonna make the selection. We'll get them, maybe we'll push back that move-in date until, right at Memorial Day, just so we feel confident they can move in. Yeah, if it's a direction we want to go in, I can bring those recommendations next month.
I would recommend Memorial Day.
Okay.
Memorial Day weekend.
And I don't think we need a motion for that. I think that's something I can do, and then you guys can make a decision on next month. I just wanted to see what we felt like, because it's not something we had talked about at all. But I'll bring that proposal next week. So then, the other thing I have under new business is the lease with the water board for Epping Springbrook. Quick history, for many years, that land has been leased out for cattle grazing. We're fighting that blue-green algae. That's one of the things we talked about. A lot of different options for the water board, fencing, and putting in a watering system for cattle, and all of this. And then we said, or you could just lease it to the park board, and they were in agreement with that. I went to the water board meeting last week, and just wanted to establish contact and make sure they still wanted to move forward, and something that it sounds like they're comfortable doing. We did talk about length, and we thought that a 5-year lease would be good, at least to start. The thought behind that was we're neither us or the water board is probably going to do anything really to develop that land in the next 5 years. But at the same time, it gives us just that we just know we got it, and we can do that. So I haven't had a chance. I've only mentioned it to Karen. We just talked about it this morning, but we will. The anticipation is that we will work with Karen and the water board and bring this back next month, and with the goal of having a lease with the water board to manage that land for the upcoming future.
How big of an area is it, Jeremy?
Yeah.
I don't know about acreage exactly. Not a girl. 184.
Do you have an exact number, please?
Yeah. And it's mostly just it's pretty flat. It sits up high above. There's that hillside there, but everything is up high above. Yeah.
And our goal is just to keep the cattle out of the water. Is that
To keep the cattle out of the water, right, directly going into the water, and then since it's our land, since our land to manage, we will start looking at, even on that land, potentially putting in some of those buffer crops or trees between the land and the water, just to start catching some of that runoff. But otherwise, yeah, the goal is just to keep cattle keep cattle from getting into the water.
And the person leasing it is good with this whole plan, that they're going to lose 180 acres. I mean, that's going to be our next discussion.
When last year in November, December, 2024, November, December, Trevor Sorensen was at the meeting. I had talked to him beforehand, and it was Trevor's intention that 2025 was going to be the last year he leased that land. Craig Moen, a neighboring landowner, who Trevor used to lease land from as well. Craig had told Trevor that he was and I think about 3 times as much land Trevor leased from Craig, 3 times more land than what he was leasing from the water board. Craig told Trevor that starting in 2026, Craig was going to start running cattle on his own land, and Trevor would not be able to lease land from him. So Trevor's losing 3/4 of the land he was leasing anyways. There wasn't the 184, but 184.6 acres wasn't attractive for him to be able to haul cattle down for that small amount. So Trevor was going to be done regardless. And I don't know if I guess the water board has never given me any indication that Craig Moen has tried to lease the land from them. Yeah. So
Okay, just wanted to ask the question.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, just want to make sure you guys are in the loop with that. So we'll, again, that's not something that's gonna, no action today. Work with Karen and work with the water board and bring it back to you.
Okay, if that's all, no motion for that.
No.
No. Okay, moving on, discussion item, ice fishing derby.
So just a reminder here in a couple weeks, we'll have our ice fishing derby, not this weekend, next weekend. You know, just a little bit concerned with that warm weather we've had. But I
It's
can
going to be shore fishing in an ice
Yeah.
fishing tournament.
right. I do see that we're gonna get some cold weather here this week. We're gonna work with United Sportsmen and spend a little time next week drilling holes and making sure we're comfortable with the ice depth. You know, it can be weird now with how that weather changed. Even if it gets cold, we definitely could find low areas, especially with a dam where it's moving water. So we'll do our due diligence and we'll make sure we make sure it's a safe event to have. But you know, we're gonna cool down again, luckily, and looks like we got single digits coming, so we should be able to make some ice. But yep, plan is on the 28th, Saturday, 10 to 4, out at Epping Springbrook Dam. We have sponsors lined up for prizes and food and the whole deal. We have volunteers. It'll be a good event as long as the weather cooperates.
Good deal. Nothing there. Item F, master plan implementation update.
And not a lot has changed from last month. I did bring Ryan. If you have that map. Yep, we do have that map. And Ryan, if you could zoom in, we'll start at the bottom of the page and work our way up. Real quick, this is where we're at with the plan for Epping Springbrook Dam. So first thing is that when you first come in that drive, we're gonna pave that drive. We also made it wider and increased the radius at the top. The very top, we've made it wider and then pushed it back a little bit. The goal is being able to have a fully loaded truck and trailer coming in and coming out, both being able to sit there. So that's kind of that, and then paving it down to the bottom. If you look at the bottom of the road, right when it makes a turn, there's a line in the middle of the road that crosses it. So in the original, in our plans, up till that line, it's called for paving. And then from that line all the way back to the rest, we're going to have paving that as an add alternate. We've also applied for it's right there, the special road fund. We applied for the special road fund. That's the fund that we got the road at McGregor paved, and then that's the fund that we got the bypass road at Blackville paved. So we're going to apply for that grant. Timing wise, it should work well with our ad alternates to find out if we get that grant so we can pave it all the way back. But it would be, yep. And so that's a goal. And if we don't get the grant, maybe we'll still be able to do it, but we're hoping we get that grant. We applied for it. On the bottom, on the left-hand side, another ad alternate is going to be a storage spot for those buoys that we have. Rather than having to ship them all the way up to Black Hill and store them, we're going to put in an ad alternate for that. We'll just see how that goes. Working right there, we're going to clean up the beach a little bit. We're going to put that playground. There's that smaller, really dark circle there. That's a new playground. That's another thing we're going to have as an ad alternate, just to give us some flexibility when pricing comes in. There'll be a nice paved parking lot there at the beach. And then otherwise, other than kind of cleaning that up, a lot of Epping stays very much the same. One of the goals was not to turn over every single piece of dirt. It's a long, big park, and the more dirt we move, the more things cost. So then at the top of the page where it sits right now, now kind of the middle is that's where the current, and now we're good right there. At the very bottom of the page right now, you see, that's where the dump station is. We are looking at improving the dump station due to capacity. We've added a few sites, and we also anticipate that because it's going to be new and fixed up, we're going to get some more usage out of the park. So we're looking at adding the capacity of the dump site. Across from the dump site right there is going to be the camp host spot. So right when you come into the first part of the campground, the camp host will be right there. Camp host will have full hookups. So then moving back, you can see we have a few back-end sites right there. And then once you get past those first 4 back-end sites, that next area right there is where the current playgrounds are at. We just put in a new shelter and improve those playgrounds, and then put in a little bit of parking. And then if you want to scroll so we can get a little bit higher there. So then we have a few more back end sites right there. And then on the left hand side of the road, where there's that line that kind of wiggles, those are pull through sites that just jump off the side of the road there. So we have some pull through sites. Those trees on the left right now are really popular. It's a really nice spot. You can sneak through the trees to get off the water, but you do have the trees for shade. They're very popular. So we have those pull through sites there. And then continuing to work our way back, we have that put in an amphitheater right there, similar to what we've done before, low grass amphitheater. In this area, there is a 4-stall shower house. With one of the things we found through doing, percolation testing and soil samplings out there is there's very, very limited good soil for percolation tests. This is the only area that we were able to put in a drain field. And so really kind of limited us. Originally in our original plan, we kind of had sets of 2 stalls spread out, and just there was no good soils for drainage for a drain field. So we've kind of put that's where our shower house is, and it's all right there. And then moving back, those last 3 sites back there are tent sites. They just have electrical, no other hookups, but they do have electrical for tents or for someone with a really small camper, like those little like teardrop campers or something like that. And then just a roundabout out there. Like I said, not a lot of changes. I mean, there's definitely changes, but trying not to turn over a ton of dirt, trying to be smart about how we made improvements out here. But that's kind of the direction we'll go. We'll see, we'll get pricing here for, we should get pricing here for next month for Epping. And then we'll really make the decisions on what we're going to have.
It's probably a dumb question, but is that the roundabout doesn't look very big. Is that big enough for the 60-foot campers that's going to pull into those pull-through sites to turn around?
On the very end, it's increased from what the size it is now, and but yeah, it is. We've asked that question multiple times, and they've increased the size for us. But yeah, very much a concern, and also because the way it is now, we've talked about extensively too of how soft it is out there. I mean, if you go there now, not only do you have to worry about it being really tight, but you have to worry about being really soft. So
it's a long ways to back up.
It is a long ways to back up, but yeah, something we've talked about. Definitely enough room. Brought up multiple times to make sure it's enough room for a 44-foot toy hauler to be able to turn around. But otherwise, like I said, I'm excited about this. Hopefully, trying to keep it within budget and keep that number down, but still be able to make dramatic improvements out here. On schedule with rural water to come through this year, end of the year, they'll be coming through and they're bringing water to us, so we just have to pay the hookup fee. So that worked out well with rural water's expansion project. So yeah, so timing of everything is kind of falling into place. So moving on, I don't have any pictures, but just we haven't made a lot of changes. Blacktail Dam, again, we're ready to go. They're actually gonna start working out there in a couple of weeks, as long as the weather doesn't go too far crazy. But yeah, we're ready to go with Blacktail Dam. Blacktail Community Building, they're close to getting their pricing done to bring a guaranteed maximum price. We're kind of pushing, hoping to get to this meeting, but they weren't able to get the builders, the people that would actually build the building. They got really far as concrete and all the other trades, but the people that would actually build the building, they weren't quite there for pricing. So we did talk about if we felt there would be any need for us to have a special meeting to approve it, but they felt really good that if at this time next month, if we came with a guaranteed maximum price, they'd be able to start May 1st, which would be their target date for actual construction. So, feel good about that. So we were pushing hard to try to get it to this meeting, but feel good about having it for next meeting. And we did talk about a special meeting. We just, no one felt it was necessary. Felt like we still have time. Little Egypt, we've done a lot of work on Little Egypt planning wise. We will next month bring where we're at with that, where our designs are for Little Egypt. We'll bring that to this board. Next month, we'll also present to the Army Corps of Engineers, let them know where we stand, and then let them start working out, telling us what we got to do to get there. We'll feel real good. We keep, it'll be, I'll be definitely seeking input on that. I'm just to be open and frank. I go back and forth all the time. The architects designed in a beautiful, amazing park. Like, wow, this would be super awesome if we had it. I love everything about it. And I look at it and then I go, God, it's really nice the way it is. There's a lot of nature out there that's beautiful right now. So really got to balance that. We don't want this to be a city park. We still want you to feel nature when you're out there. Still want it to feel like that. So balancing that, pretty excited about it. I love Little Egypt. It's really, really, really beautiful out there. So. Yep. So, but yeah, next month we'll bring our plans and run them by you. That'll still be a process, right? We won't even look at bidding that out until next year. Hopefully, as long as the Corps keeps moving forward. Otherwise, other than that, that's all I have for master plan implementation.
Okay, anything for park updates?
Nope, we're moving along. Just gonna weather this cold spell here, and then next thing you know, it's gonna be spring, and we're gonna be going. So time's flying.
Okay, nothing else. Next meeting is March 17th. We got nothing else. We can adjourn.
Thank you.
9:27.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, right. Not yet, but gosh.
Shannon, you did
I know,
amazing.
right?